want to start them off right. Because here's what happens. If you do call for every demo or whatever, you know, which you can still do. Let's say you really like that, because that's really cool. Then what you say is, you have to still call in for your set PDI time. For your first weekend, because it's double credit, or whatever you want to use, you know, because it's your fast start, whatever your excuse is to get urgency for the first weekend. We used to use double credit. So I'd say, hey, you know, since you got double credit, I need to know what's going on after each demo. So just for your first weekend, I'm going to ask you to call in after every demo so that I know what's going on because it's double credit. Now, that does not go in place of your set PDI time, okay? So that's not PDI, that's just checking in from your demo, which I need you to do your first weekend, but your PDI is between 5 and 6:30. So we're launching now at 3 or 4 o'clock, which means that you'll probably be wrapping up your first demo, or you might be going into your first demo, and you need to call me today, Saturday, after you get out of here. Okay? So, no big deal, because I want to get them to happen, right? So on Sunday, no big deal. You can call in at that time, whatever, you know. Monday, they're set. Because if you don't do that, if you don't start it, like if you only do it during the week, then you break the habit. We all know that once you break the habit, the whole thing just kind of unravels. Does that make sense? Okay, so, all right. So that kind of gives you the idea of what I would suggest. Now, what if you've got the worst case scenario? I have no help, I have no other option, and it's Friday, I've got to run training, I don't finish training until 6:30, and my PDI time is 5 to 6:30 or whatever it is, right? You know, and I don't have any help. Then I would probably tell them on Fridays, you still have to call in. If you don't get me, you leave a detailed message on my answer machine. And I will make sure that I take down all that information, and I'll give you a call back. Because I need it, because I have to turn it in my division manager, and I need it for blah, 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 whatever the other people tell me. So, anyway, but that's the idea. All right, so you know, you basically say, by the way, I'm not saying 5 to 6:30 is the perfect time. By the way, it could be 6:30 to 8. I mean, whatever. As long as you can get them on the phone at a good phone time, that's the objective. Does that make sense? All right, so that would solve part of the training issue. But, okay, here's another one. You know, if you do call after every demo and they don't do any demos, then they don't what? Yeah, well, that's kind of bad, right? Because we want to talk to them every day. Okay, so that doesn't work. That breaks down. Here would be something else I would do. Real quick, another reason why I like this. Anytime we add structure to a rep's schedule, we get better results. When do your reps sell the most? When do your reps have their best weekend? Their first weekend. When do they have the most structure? Yeah, because we map out every hour and every second of their day, right? And they sell really good. Okay, well, probably something to that, right? Okay, so the more structure we have, the better we're going to do. Okay, here's the other thing. I would say this in training. I'd say, all right, everybody pull out your cell phone. Everybody pull out your cell phone. I'd tell them all pull out your cell phone. I go, you need to set an alarm, a recurring alarm on your cell phone to remind you to call it for PDI. There you go, right? Pretty simple. So it beeps at them or it does whatever every day. Oh, I got to call it for PDI. Everybody programs it in their phone. There you go. Okay, so that'd be something I do. Again, the whole idea is we're trying to make this easy to implement. Anytime we have to add too many steps, look, I'm the same way. If it's too difficult, it's a great idea that it just doesn't happen. Or it doesn't happen consistently, right? As soon as I get distracted, it kind of, oh, I don't know why I stopped doing that. Right? We're all there. Keep it simple. So that I'm trying to help you implement it. Okay, so this would be a real simple way to kind of get our PDI program really, really smoking. Okay, here's the other thing. You know, write it in your leader's guide or your training notes. Just write it in there. So that way you don't forget to tell them to set their PDI time in their phone. That you don't forget to tell them the importance of it, the whole deal. Okay? Here's the other thing about set PDI that's really good. When I'm just taking phone calls on my cell phone, when you guys are taking just calls on your cell phone, when you're in the car, you're in between things, or you're talking on this phone and you answer this one, whatever the case may be. You take very good notes. I don't either. Right? But if it's a set time where you're going to sit down and you're going to call your team, right? You're going to get down. It's PDI time, right? Probably a better chance that you might actually track and kind of keep up with what's going on with your PDI. Right? Here's the other thing. If you know you're going to sit down and talk to your team, okay, you're probably going to think, at least for a few minutes, about what you might want to say to them. Agreed? I mean, like if you knew you were going to sit down and have a conversation with somebody, you probably want to think a little bit about what you're going to talk about, right? I'm not usually thinking about PDI when I'm just reactively answering my cell phone. I'm off the cuff and winging it. Make sense? Right? So when you have a set PDI time, and you know that PDI time is coming up too, here's the other thing. You start getting a habit, right? I know PDI time is coming up, right? So you kind of start thinking about what I want to say on PDI. So you actually, as a manager, will start thinking about your PDI and your communication needs to get to the team. You'll be a better PDI just because, you have something to look forward to because that's coming up and your mind starts thinking about it. Does that make sense? So I'm not going to teach you how to be a better PDI, if I can just teach you to implement some good PDI practices. Okay? Here's another thing. There's a learning curve advantage during each PDI session when you can talk to a lot of people in a short period of time. So let me give you an example. Okay, if I just take one random call here or there and I get some good news, and then I turn around and I go back to ordering pizza or I go back to, doing something else or whatever else I was doing, I usually kind of forget about that call. Even if it was a hot news or something good, but it'd be easy to forget about that. Does that make sense? Right? Am I the only one that does that? No. Alright, so, it's kind of like even if my wife calls me in the middle of, I'm in the middle of doing something at work and she tells me something really important I'm supposed to remember, and then I forget because I go right back to doing what I was doing. Okay? It's kind of how PDI sometimes is. Okay? But if I'm sitting down and I'm talking to 20 people in a row and I get some really hot news and I hear 2 or 3 positive things and all of a sudden that's like, whoa, that was a really great idea. I got to share that with the rest of the team because I'm calling the rest of the team, right? I get the benefit of the association of talking to multiple people, and probably the second half of my PDI is better than the first half because I'm talking to a lot of different people and getting different things. Or I talk to somebody who has a problem and I go, oh crud, I wonder if my whole team's thinking that. Right? Okay? Does that make sense? Okay. So anyway. Alright. So that's gonna, anyway, is that enough reasons why set PDI time makes a lot of sense? Alright, so we're good there? Alright, cool. Then I need some more time, Michael. Can I have more time? Alright, perfect. Alright. I love it when he's my MC. Alright, here's the other thing. Let's talk about PCs. Okay, the PCs, if you're following this 11 things principle, for the most part, we found that you will sell $10,000 to $12,000 every week, no matter what territory you're in. Okay, now if I talk to Patty would say in her territory she's getting $25 grand a week, $25 grand a week using the same thing. Okay, if I talk to Wes Frank, he's going to tell you the same thing. I mean, but the point is, you're going to get at least that. Now, that means that if you follow these 11 things, if you follow this principle, you follow this roadmap of success that these guys helped put together, I mean, that's going to add to the average manager in this room $5 to $7 grand a week. That's a lot of business, by the way. $7 grand a week times 52 weeks, that's $350,000 extra to your sales. Okay? So at $5 grand, it's still $250,000. That's a lot of extra sales. It's a huge difference. And it is that much difference. It is that much. I've been tracking this, I've been talking about it for 3 months, and I can promise you it's that big a difference. And what we found is you're going to pick up, and this is not a perfect science, this part, but if you're, for the most part, following the 11 things, you're going to average close to $1,000 a scheduling PC that you do. You're going to average about $1,000 for every scheduling PC that you do. You don't get an app